It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready to dive deep into one of the most gripping legal battles of our time. I'm your host, Jim Chapman, and today we're unraveling the high-stakes drama surrounding one of the music industry's most enigmatic figures, Sean Diddy Combs. In a case that has captivated millions, the courtroom has become a battleground for fame, fortune, and the dark secrets that lurk beneath the glittering surface of celebrity life. As the gavel comes down, we'll explore the allegations, the testimonies, and the shocking twists that could change the course of Diddy's legacy forever. Was this case merely a clash of lifestyles or something much more sinister? With each episode, I will bring you exclusive insights, analysis, and witness testimony accounts that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So buckle up as we embark on this thrilling ride through the trial of the century, where the stakes are high, the drama is real, and the truth is anything but certain. This is the trial of Sean Combs. Let's get started. I want to start by saying thank you to all of our celebrity members on Patreon who subscribe to this show. It's people like you who make this show and this entire production possible. Also, thank you to everybody who has left us a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. If you have not left us a review, please take a second before this episode and leave us a review, even if it's just one word. With that being said, let's get on with the show. And we are continuing today with the Friday, May 30th, 2025 testimony in the trial of Sean Combs, and just a quick catch up on what occurred Thursday, May 29th in the Diddy trial. Mia, who assisted Diddy between 2009 and 2017, and keep in mind, that's not her real name, that's a pseudonym. She recalled working 5 days straight without sleeping, saying the experience took a toll. Quote, "I had a physical breakdown. It felt like I was underwater. My equilibrium was off. Blurred vision. She wasn't allowed to lock her bedroom door when she traveled with Diddy or stayed at his home," she said. Mia said she also witnessed Diddy physically attack and injure his girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, on multiple occasions. She was quoted as saying, "I've seen him crack her head open," adding that she couldn't recall Cassie ever fighting back. And if either woman did anything without Diddy's permission, Mia said the punishments were unpredictable and terrifying. Mia also testified about a vacation in Turks and Caicos. She said she and Cassie had barricaded themselves in a room as Diddy banged on the door. Quote, "Puff is gonna kill me." She quoted Cassie as saying, "They ran out the back door, they went into the water, the sky turned black," and Mia weighed whether it was scarier to face Mother Nature or go back to Puff. And in the final hour of Thursday's proceedings, Mia detailed her sexual abuse allegations that she personally experienced against Diddy, allegedly. She said he put his hand up her dress without her consent, assaulted her on the bottom of a bunk bed sometime in 2009 or 2010, and he forced her to perform oral sex on him. She feared the power, control, and capacity for violence that Diddy yielded. So we're going to pick up today. Now, this is the testimony from Friday, May 30th, and it was continued with Mia by the prosecution. She walked into the courtroom, and interestingly, she avoided eye contact as she passed Sean Combs. She took the stand, and Assistant U.S. Attorney Madison Smizer asked Mia why she would write "I love you" in text messages to Combs, even after being sexually assaulted by him. And remember, the prosecution, as I've told you many times during this series, they're trying to head off what the defense is going to say. And obviously that was one of those things. She replied to that with, quote, "because it's just how we talk to each other. When the dynamic would shift to the best friend dynamic, you're just desperate to keep it there because you're safe." She was then asked to describe the moment Cassie learned Combs was cheating on her. Mia testified that Sean Combs told her to go to South Africa with Cassie Ventura in October 2015 while Ventura was shooting a movie. And while they were there, Ventura found out Combs was cheating on her when she saw a video of him with another woman. Quote, "They were on the phone, and then at one point, she didn't want to speak with him, so she stopped answering his calls." Mia said that Combs tried to get her and another one of his employees, Christina Coram, and others to reach out to Ventura and get her on the phone. And she said during her testimony that she was kind of put in the middle. The jury is then shown a series of messages between Mia and Sean Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram, about Combs demanding to speak to Mia so he could get to Cassie Ventura. Coram repeatedly texted and called Mia in the overnight hours while Mia and Ventura were asleep. Mia eventually answered Coram. This was on October 26th of 2015 after she said she spoke to Combs on the phone. Mia texted, quote, "He doesn't sound in the right mind at the moment. Any reasoning should be in the morning, your time." Now, Mia testified when she spoke to Combs before sending that message, Combs was irate, forgetting what he was talking about, slurring quite a bit, and saying a lot of irrational things. The jury then saw messages between Sean Combs and Mia from October 31st of 2015, when she was still in South Africa with Cassie. Quote, "If you don't call me now, fuck it all, and I'm going to tell everything, and don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes. Fuck her. Call my house now or never speak to me again. Fuck ABC and all lawyers. Let's go to war." That was what Combs had written in those messages. Mia testified that Combs was threatening to tell Ventura about the sexual assaults, but with a different framing, saying, quote, "It was as though it was my fault or that I had a part in it." Mia said ABC had recently purchased the rights to a comedy show she had written, and she said it was the most exciting thing that had ever happened in her life and that he was threatening to take it all away. In text messages that were shown to the jury, Mia responded, saying Ventura was busy and asking Combs to give her more time. Quote, "I'm begging you." Then she texted Combs, quote, "She just texted you. She said she just needs time to change. Please just be nice to her when you call her." It was then that Combs sent a series of more than 10 messages telling her to call him before sending a message saying in part, quote, "I've come to the conclusion that it's best that we no longer have any dealings." Mia then described the need for her to tiptoe around Combs, saying she emailed Sean Combs a few times asking him to tell her what to do after he threatened her job if she didn't leave South Africa. She went on to say the fees to change her flight were expensive, so she emailed him that she couldn't afford it herself. She paid for her flights to South Africa with her own money, she wrote him in an email. Quote, I need to make sure I'm following your instructions correctly. And she also told him in that email that Ventura was upset and that she didn't want to leave Cassie early. Now, Combs didn't respond to those emails, and it's important to note he had directed Mia to go with Cassie to South Africa. Remember, I told you on the last episode that she testified he wanted her to keep Cassie company, and really, he wanted her to watch Cassie. It's interesting in those emails, though, that she did tell Combs she loved him more than once. She said, quote, I want to stay with Cass, but I don't want to make you mad. And when asked about that, she said, quote, I wanted to stay with Cass, but I don't want to make him mad, meaning Diddy. I'm tiptoeing. That's the way I would survive. So I didn't make him more mad or make him think that we were doing anything wrong. It didn't matter what I wanted or what anyone else wanted. It mattered what he wanted. He was in charge. And then the prosecutor went into her on-again, off-again job, I guess you could say, with Bad Boy Records. And Mia said she was suspended several times from her job with Diddy. And she said they were all for different reasons, including accidentally falling asleep after being awake for days and reacting to Combs' violent episodes. She said she was suspended without pay in March of 2011 after Combs had asked her to pick out clothing for him and place them in different parts of his room. When Combs arrived and only saw some of the clothing options in the closet, she said, quote, he just began cursing me out and getting angrier and angrier and going on a rant about the lack of options and how he hated certain things I had chosen. She then tried to point out other options and offered to get him more, and she said that made him more irate. He was just screaming and cursing at me and wouldn't stop, going on to say that something violent happened between them, but she couldn't recall specific details. The jury then saw an email Mia received from Human Resources following that incident, noting she was suspended without pay for 5 days. Mia testified she was told her suspension was because Puff had said I was being insubordinate. Mia said she tried to run away from her job working for Sean Combs before she eventually left in 2017, but it never worked, and she said she felt that if she left, she wouldn't be able to get a job anywhere else. Quote, he would have made sure of that. He would have destroyed my reputation. I was scared of him. Mia then testified about a 2016 meeting she had with Brian Offit, who was a COO of Combs Enterprises. And at that time, Mia was working for Revolt Films, which was part of Combs Enterprises. She said, out of the blue, he just says, I hate to tell you this, but I talked to Mr. Combs and he no longer wants to be involved with film. So he basically wants to end Revolt Films. She said she was in shock and felt confused because Combs had recently told her the film company was the only one that had made money that year. She said she also felt betrayed and rejected by the fact that Combs wasn't telling her himself. He had somebody else do it. Mia said she had been working on a Bad Boy documentary at the time of that meeting, and she continued to work on that documentary through early 2017 before she left. She said Combs and other employees reached out to her after that documentary was finished, but she was too heartbroken to answer. Mia also described being kicked off a yacht for counting money too slowly. She said she was on a yacht with Sean Combs, Kim Porter, and his family off of St. Barts for New Year's Eve. This was in 2010 or 2011. And Combs angrily told her to get off the boat because she was counting his money in his safe too slowly. Quote, he told me, you better learn to walk on water like Jesus, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Mia said she hid on the boat away from Combs before she eventually got a crew member to take her to shore. She said once she got to shore, the yacht crew radioed her saying Combs wanted her back on the boat. Mia testified she didn't want to go, but she was going to obey Puff's orders. Mia also testified that after she was let go, In 2017, she hired employment attorneys to help her negotiate severance and bonuses, and she said this led to months of negotiations. She said Christina Coram, the former chief of staff for Sean Combs, spoke with her on behalf of Combs and that he believed Mia was stabbing him in the back by hiring the lawyers. Mia's attorneys originally made a settlement offer of $10 million to Combs and his companies, she testified.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
After what she said were months-long negotiations, they settled for around $400,000, and she said after attorney fees, etc., she received about $200,000. Around that time, Mia said she told some people about the violence that she endured from Combs during her employment, but she said she never mentioned the sexual assault. She said she would have died with that information if it weren't for Combs' federal criminal case. Mia said the next time she spoke to Combs was after the settlement when Kim Porter, the mother of his 3 children, died in November of 2018. She said she would reach out to him occasionally, like on Porter's birthday or when a close friend passed away. Quote, I felt so terrible for him and his family. Mia said she and Cassie still keep in touch, but the frequency of their conversations vary. She said they spoke on the phone about a month ago and most recently texted just a few days ago. She also confirmed on the stand they had not discussed their testimony in the case. And when asked, she also provided some light on the fact that Diddy was attempting to involve her in the aftermath of Cassie's lawsuit. She testified in November of 2023, Combs' longtime security guard, known as D-Rock, texted Mia for the first time in about 2 years. She said D-Rock said in that text, a lot has been going on and that he would call her. On the call, D-Rock brought up the lawsuit. And she went on to say, quote, then he changed it to, yeah, it's real crazy what's going on. Mia recalled him saying, because, you know, like Puff and Cass, they would fight like a normal couple. Mia testified her radar went off because she knew D-Rock had witnessed Combs be very violent with Ventura and that it was absolutely not normal. Mia said D-Rock then said he had just landed in Miami to join Combs, who wanted to talk to her. She said it was her impression that Combs wanted her to make a public statement on his behalf. Remember, this is after all that shit that came out with Cassie. She went on to say she never answered Combs' call. Mia said that when Combs called her, she threw the phone as far as it would go and ran outside. She said it was just so triggering to see that. It was just a reaction out of the clear blue with me. She testified that D-Rock continued to contact her periodically in December of 2023 and February of 2024, telling her Diddy was trying to reach out to her. Mia said she believed Combs tasked D-Rock with making sure it wasn't a threat. She said she responded until February of 2024 when she thought D-Rock was getting angry with her because Combs was pushing him to make contact with her. Texts were then shown to the jury where the security guard wrote, I can't believe you're not hitting me back. And she replied that she had been scuba diving. When D-Rock asked her for her address to send her something, Mia said she declined. D-Rock wrote, I'm not allowed to send my sister a gift. Mia testified she never spoke to D-Rock after that, but believed he was trying to send her money, like a payoff. Then the jury was shown messages of Diddy continuing to reach out to Mia in February of 2024. The first message, which was sent February 4th of that year, said, Hey, Mia. It's Puff. Please let me know when you get 10 minutes to talk. Love. Mia testified that she was terrified to had received that message and she did not respond. The second message Combs sent was on February of 2024 and it read, Hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone. Just needed to talk to you for 10 minutes. Just need my memory jogged on some things. You were my right hand for years, so just to speak to you to remember who was even around me. And it would be good to hear your voice. But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. Love. Hope you're well. Mia testified she didn't respond to that message either. Quote, I just didn't want anything to do with him at all. He was the person I was traumatized by. She said she believed his kindness in the messages was a front. And I'll bet it was. The prosecution finally, by this point, was done with Mia. And defense attorney Brian Steele, he got up to handle the cross. And Steele began, quote, because of Sean Combs, you suffer a great deal, right? To which Mia responded, yes. The jury then got shown some photos from Mia's social media. The first image was posted on her personal social media account. It was in January of 2013, and that photo showed her holding several bottles of Ciroc vodka. The caption said, quote, what we do when you're not around.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And she had tagged Combs' account. Mia confirmed to Brian Steele that Combs had sexually assaulted her and abused her by that point when he asked. The jury then saw two more photos from October of 2013. One of the photos showed Combs at a coffee shop, and the caption said, just the number one guy on the Forbes list getting me a vanilla latte. No big deal. Regular people shit. The other photo showed Mia Combs, Cassie, and Carrie Morgan, a former friend of Ventura's, at Burning Man Festival with the caption, quote, take me back. And Brian Steele, that defense attorney, he pointed out that Mia was standing beside Combs and leaning into him in the photo. Then said, quote, and he terrorized you, right? And Mia responded, yes. Steele then asked her why she made positive posts about Combs on social media, considering the fact that he terrorized her so much. And Mia responded, social media was about showing how great your life was, even if it wasn't true. And also said Combs fans followed her and she didn't want her family to know what she was going through. So Brian Steele then showed another photo Mia posted to celebrate Combs' birthday, where the caption said, in part, happy new birthday. And Steele asked Mia what that was referring to. And she responded, quote, Puff decided to change his birthday that year, so we all promoted it. Steele then showed a repost Mia made on Instagram where Diddy posted a photo of them together and wrote, quote, beside every great man is a great woman. P.S. Sorry, I was acting crazy last night. And when he asked Mia about it, Mia said that he had threatened her life on the phone the night before, and she guessed that was his apology. But she did repost it, and she wrote, nicest caption ever. Thanks, Puff. Love you. You show me the world. Steele then asked Mia if she reposted despite the fact that Combs had threatened her life just prior and traumatized her for years, and she responded, yes, of course. Steele then went into asking her about her relationships outside of Diddy's circle, and Mia said she had friends outside of her job, but she didn't get to see them or speak to them. Quote, I did not have any external sounding board. Steele then suggested she could have reached out to them, meaning her other friends, had she wanted to. And Mia replied, no, there was absolutely no time. And I had to get permission to leave or do things. I had to beg to go to my grandmother's funeral, going on to say she was fearful for her own safety when Combs was unhappy. Quote, I was in fear anytime Puff was not happy because I wanted to make sure that he was, because then I was safe. Steele then continued showing the jury photos Mia posted on social media and asked her whether she posted a photo of the man who ruined her life. And she replied, yes, and my boss, and the person I was with at the time. And Steele responded with, how do you have a good moment with Sean Combs when you're terrified of him? And Mia said, quote, it's easy because the dynamics would shift. So when things were good, we felt really safe and we kind of forgot about all of those things. The jury is then shown more photos Mia posted on social media from Diddy's birthday. Defense attorney Brian Steele asked Mia how she could post about his birthday without recognizing the significance, as this was the time he sexually assaulted her for the first time. And she said, it was Puff's birthday. That's what the date was. And I tried to forget that night and shove it down. I never wanted to think about it again. And Steele continued going through photo collages Mia posted annually on her Instagram, wishing Combs happy birthday. After she explained each photo, Steele asked Mia why she posts such loving words after Combs had traumatized her for years. And Mia explained that she was expected to post for Combs' birthday while she worked for him. That was one of her duties. Steele then enters into evidence a scrapbook that Mia made for Combs. And looking through that scrapbook, which he actually pulled out and had her look at, she said, oh, I remember this. It was so nice of me. She went on to say that she gave the scrapbook to Combs for his 45th birthday. This was in 2014. And she wrote on it, quote, happy 45th birthday, Puff Daddy, in large red letters, followed by a page-long handwritten note. In that note, Mia had wrote, quote, Puff, sometimes life goes by at catastrophic speeds where you never get to live and enjoy it in the now. She also wrote that she hoped he'd be able to sit back and take in how much he's accomplished, going on to say that she had put together a book of magazine articles from 1991 to 1999 to stir up nostalgic feelings of when you started and how you felt. And Steele pressed her on that scrapbook further, and Mia testified she made the scrapbook after a conversation where Diddy told her, quote, I used to look at the world the way you did, and implied there was nothing left now that he had done everything. She said it was hard to get a birthday present for somebody who had a lot of money, and she thought the book would make him happy. And so the defense, it seemed like, why they're bringing up this scrapbook and kind of pushing it so hard is, if you've ever done a scrapbook, it's some work involved in that. There's a lot of thought. There's a lot of caring involved in putting together a really nice big scrapbook. I mean, I didn't actually see this scrapbook, but it covered almost a decade. So it had to be quite expansive. And they're trying to say, if this guy abused you all this time, why are you going out of your way to make him something like this that he doesn't expect? And we'll move on. Steele then challenged Mia on why she worked for Sean Combs so long and did things for him, like making that scrapbook for his birthday, even though she said she endured physical, sexual, and emotional abuse for years. And Mia said that her therapist or a psychology textbook would explain it better, but she said, quote, in an abusive relationship, there are cycles of violence. And that's absolutely true. She went on to say, I was young and manipulated and eager to survive. I'm unraveling a lot of this now in therapy. Nobody was there to say these things that were happening were wrong. There was nobody around us that ever even flinched at his behavior. I was always in trouble, and I was always just trying to find a way not to be in trouble. Brian Steele then asked, quote, why did you need someone else saying that it was wrong of Mr. Combs to make you feel like he would kill you? And Mia responded that she has a logic brain and a trauma brain. And she said the trauma brain often wins. Quote, eventually, it will become normalized, and you're just trying to get back to the good. You make excuses for people. I'm a people pleaser. I'm an empath. I'm a rule follower. And she went on to say, I just wanted to do my best and make everybody happy all the time. So I tend to take a lot more than normal people. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know if I should apologize for that. I forgive people all the time for things. Steele then suggested that Mia made up the sexual assault allegations against Diddy. Quote, Mr. Combs never had unwanted, non-consensual, forcible sexual contact with you. Isn't that true? To which Mia responded, what I said in this courtroom is true. I have not lied to anyone at all. Steele then showed the jury some messages Mia sent to Christina Coram, Sean Combs, Chief of Staff. This was in December of 2016. And Mia testified the messages were following her meeting with another executive who informed her Revolt Films would be shutting down. She wrote to Coram saying, quote, my life is over. The two exchanged a couple of messages before Mia stopped responding. Coram sent several messages asking Mia to answer her phone. Mia later responded, apologizing and saying she'd call Coram soon. Coram said she wanted to make sure Mia was okay in these messages that the jury saw, with Mia responding, quote, I'm not, but I'm alive and I love you. Coram sent Mia a message calling her a superstar and complimenting her, and Mia responded that she was just so heartbroken she couldn't breathe. Brian Steele then asked Mia to explain why she wasn't happy to be free of her employment, which was reflected in these messages. And Mia responded by saying it was the only life she knew, that her time working for Combs felt like dog years, even longer than the 8 years she worked for him. Steele then suggested leaving the company, that was a good thing, right, for her, because you're away from your abuser. And she responded with, quote, no, because at the time, I didn't realize that. In hindsight, it was fantastic. But at that time, it was the worst thing in the world for me. And with that, court for Friday, May 30th, 2025 was dismissed. And Monday, the 2nd of June, they'll pick up with the testimony of Mia and that cross-examination by the defense. And before we get out of here today, I want to thank all of you for listening, and I truly mean that. May was a record-breaking month in a lot of ways for Exposed Scandalous Files of the Elite. We placed on Apple Podcast Top 100 charts several times, as well as several other charts. Just amazing how many people are enjoying the content that we're bringing you here on Exposed. Thank you so much for that. And just a quick reminder, I also do a show with Unspeakable's Kelly Jennings. We do a crime-related podcast that's current crime. It's called The Crime Wire Weekly. You can listen to it on its own channel. We won't be dropping any episodes anymore on our own individual channels like Exposed, where I've been dropping that podcast, but you got to follow it. That's the only way you're going to be able to listen. So in the description of this podcast, you're going to see some links to follow it. Go check it out if you're enjoying that. We have a lot of fun doing it, and some really interesting stuff occurs every week in the world of crime. So check that out. And until next time, for Exposed Scandalous Files of the Elite, I'm your host, Jim Chapman. Much love.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.